Rh negative bloodline, the hidden legacy of an antediluvian civilization. You are about to step into a realm where science, history, and mystery intertwine so tightly that the line between fact and legend begins to dissolve. Are there people among us whose blood carries the memory of a world that existed before a great cataclysm? And could a single biological marker, the R negative factor, be the key to uncovering a lost civilization that vanished long before recorded history began? The Rh factor is simply a protein found on the surface of red blood cells. Most people have it, but roughly 15% of the world's population does not. These individuals carry Rh negative blood. From the standpoint of conventional medicine, this is just a genetic variation. But when examined more closely, a series of unusual patterns begins to emerge, patterns that have puzzled researchers and alternative historians for decades. The highest concentration of Rh negative blood is found among the Basques, a people living in the mountainous region between France and Spain. Their language, Euskara, is unlike any other in the world. It does not belong to the Indo-European family, which includes nearly all European languages. It feels as though it comes from another era or another world. Anthropologically, the Baskies also stand apart, and historically, they seem to fall outside the standard narrative of European migrations. They have preserved a unique identity for thousands of years, and even their self-designation is tied to their language, as if language itself is the key to who they are. But the Baskies are not alone. Travel south to North Africa, to the rugged and majestic Atlas Mountains. There live the Berbers, indigenous people whose presence predates the Arab expansions by millennia. Among them, Rh negative blood also appears at elevated rates. Even more striking, some Berber groups display features such as blue eyes and lighter hair, traits that challenge common assumptions about African populations. Genetic evidence points to deep antiquity, to a time when the Sahara was green and full of life, and when human movement between continents was far more fluid than it is today. Now move further west into the Atlantic Ocean, the Canary Islands, Tenerife. Before the arrival of the Spanish, these islands were inhabited by the Guanches, a mysterious people described by early chroniclers as tall, physically robust, often fair or red-haired with blue eyes. They practiced mummification, built stepped structures reminiscent of pyramids, and, most puzzling of all, left no clear evidence of advanced seafaring. How did they reach islands in the open ocean? The question remains unresolved. When you connect these 3 points, the Basques, the Berbers, and the Guanches, a strange map begins to form. An Atlantic corridor of antiquity, a zone where unusual genetic markers, unique languages, and ancient cultural practices have endured across millennia. This is not a random coincidence. It is a pattern that only becomes visible when viewed as a whole. As early as the 19th century, some researchers proposed a bold idea that these peoples might be remnants of a single ancient civilization destroyed by a global catastrophe. Flood myths appear across cultures, from Mesopotamia to the Americas. Plato wrote of Atlantis, a powerful island civilization that sank beneath the sea. What if these stories are not mere myths, but distorted memories of real events? Modern science approaches such claims with caution. Yet it continues to uncover findings that complicate the picture. Genetic studies have identified rare lineages, including haplogroup X, found both in parts of Europe and among certain indigenous populations of the Americas, suggesting ancient migrations that took place tens of thousands of years ago, along routes we still struggle to fully reconstruct. And still, one question remains. Why does Rh negative blood stand out so sharply? One of its most discussed features is immunological incompatibility in certain pregnancies. When an Rh negative mother carries an Rh positive fetus, complications can arise. From a purely evolutionary perspective, this seems unusual, as if 2 biological lines are not always fully compatible. Mainstream science explains this through mutation and natural selection. But for those who look beyond conventional frameworks, it raises the possibility of something deeper, a separate lineage. A lineage that may have existed before the formation of modern populations, a lineage that survived a catastrophe, a lineage hidden in mountains, deserts, and islands. Of course, there is no definitive proof that a highly advanced antediluvian civilization left behind a genetic legacy in human blood. But history has shown time and again that yesterday's myths can become today's discoveries. What was once dismissed as legend can, under the right lens, reveal itself as truth waiting to be understood. And perhaps the most important question is not where this bloodline came from, but what it remembers.